Hi, I'm John Paul and welcome to All Things Marvelous. So, you saw a really cool thing on Instagram and you want to make it in Blender. Well, I got you. So, today we're going to make this really cool rolling animation super quick using some maths, drivers and a few modifiers. Okay, so let's get into it. First, let's create a plane and scale it up by 5. Then go into edit mode, then edge select and grab the back edge. Hit E and extrude it on the Z axis to create an L shape. Then select the bottom edge and press Ctrl B to add a bevel using the middle mouse wheel to add lots of segments for a smooth curve. Next, we're going to add a cylinder. Then we need to bump up the segments to 256. Scale it down on the Z axis and then move it up slightly. Then go back into edit mode and select the top and bottom faces and press I to inset them a little.
You just go through with that recording day tonight. Just as good as you possibly can. Now do that for me, yeah?
Then click Ctrl R on the side of the object and the loop slice tool will appear. Use the middle mouse wheel to add a few loops, go back to object mode and right click Shade Smooth. Flick over to the side view and adjust the object so it's just touching the ground. What we need to do now is put the origin for the object to the bottom of the geometry. This will allow us to scale and position it in the same plane. To do this, we need to select the bottom vertices in edit mode and press Shift S to move the cursor to selected vertices. Then go to object mode and move the origin to the 3D cursor. Okay, great. Let's make loads of copies and let them scale naturally as we move down the sizes. I made 12. Because the origins are on the bottom, they scale and move along the plane, making it easy to adjust them. Now let's set up the camera. Get the angle you want in the viewing window and press Ctrl, Alt and 0 on the numpad. This will lock the camera to the view. Then you can adjust it in the location settings of the camera for fine tuning. Okay, while we have the origins at the bottom, let's put in the animation for the side-to-side motion. Grab them all and position them at the start where you want in the camera and add a keyframe to all of them on the X location only. And you can deactivate the Y and Z location using this button. Then move to the middle of the animation and add another keyframe to all of them to the shifted position, again turning off the Y and Z location animation keyframes. Do this to all of the objects for both animation positions, then copy and paste the start keyframe to the last animation keyframe. Next, select them all and change the object origin to geometry. Okay, so from here we need to make them roll. Let's make this easy to see in the viewport and add a simple checker texture to the last disc. So yes, you can go in and manually add the animation, which I tried, and I suddenly realized that there is this thing called the internet and thought there must be a solution mathematically to make this work. Turns out there is. After a bit of searching, I found the right equation and how to implement it using an expression driver. We need to take the distance traveled and divide that by the radius of the object, which will give us the rotation. Right-click on the Y rotation and select Add Driver. In the expression input box, type distance, divided by DIA divided by 2, in parentheses, as shown here. Delete the input variable that is there and add a new one. Call this distance, select the object, in this case cylinder, and in path type location.x. Add another input variable and label this DIA. Select the cylinder again and in the path type dimensions.x, and we should have a rolling cube that is accurate to the rotation. So, you need to copy and paste the driver we just created to all of the other cylinders and come back into the drivers editor. In here, we need to go through each expression and assign the correct object to the appropriate driver. And we have our animation. So now that that's done, we just need to add some cycles modifiers to the animation so that it loops forever. Hop over to the graph editor and press the N key. Then in the modifiers section, select cycles. Again, copy this to the other objects. Brilliant, looking good. Now let's offset the animation so it looks like a snake's tail and add some materials. Just select each object in sequence and grab all of the animation keyframes and offset them slightly. You can do this by eye so you can get it looking just the way you want. Lastly, I used Ducky 3D's real-time materials to quickly set up some complementing textures and colours. I shaded the background plain blue and added 2 spotlights. The first I positioned above the object with a slight tilt facing towards them, then I added a track 2 constraint to one of the cylinders in the middle of the pile. Then for the second light I positioned it behind the camera and made it much softer, and also tracked this, but to a different object this time to give a slight offset. And finally, I added an HDRI and turned it down to 0.3. So there you go, I hope you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Okay, cheers, bye.